All right, enough. Get down there.
Enough of this crowd.
I didn't drive all the way up to New York for nothing. You know. Get down.
Lou, I will be down below for waiting your arrival. Lou,
I'm on my way, sweetie.
would you turn the lights on?
I did.
Oh, great.
I did it all already. She just gives the order. She doesn't realize that I have to anticipate her every need.
And vice versa. Let's be fair here.
I'd be fair.
Oh, there's not a lot of lighting here, is there?
Jane, I think you're missing somebody.
Ooh!
I didn't know whether to call this event a life partnership
Now it is.
ceremony, a union ceremony, an anniversary party, am I looking around enough? Or a Commitzvah. But we do know the important thing, and this is serious, damn it, so shut up and listen. The important thing is that those we hold most dear are here tonight. That's you guys, in case I never get there. You're the people who have loved, supported, advised, and nurtured us over our 10-year journey. That leaves one? That's one of you. No. And we'd like to share a few stories of that journey. Hit it.
Well, we were looking for a companion. Each of us were looking for companions. And after socializing as a married couple for 30 years, it was very strange. But I discovered a world of singles, a parallel world of singles out there. And I immersed myself into reading and researching and networking with the intention of going out at least once every weekend to meet someone, whether it was a woman or a man.
You're a desperate dog.
You never told me that.
And it became a part-time job.
How much was the pay? For me, serial monogamy was basically very unsatisfying.
Who wrote that?
Pardon me for laughing.
I did not write any of Lou's lines.
But there's more. Thank you. Thank you. I need a prompting. Thank you. But I didn't like being without a partner. Where am I? Oh, I thought there was such a thing as an ideal soulmate. Boy, was I ever naive.
So in my search, my sister Lynn, and where is Lynn? Please wave your hand.
Stand up.
Lynn and Tito were heavy into the dance world, into the ballroom dance world, and she kept telling me, come to the ballroom dance classes, you know, you'll meet somebody. So I went, and I went with my friend Mildred. Mildred is right here. And,
Willing to do anything.
Wow. I didn't ask you, though.
And the first night, after the first class, Mildred said to me, did you notice that guy Lou? He's very nice. And I said, yes. I want him to ask me out.
Little did you know.
Sucker.
So,
Can't see.
when I noticed that Lou was leaving after several of the dance classes with several of the dance students, I asked him about it.
Is this serial monogamy?
Yes. Well, I was trying the group monogamy at that point. I was trying the group polygamy at that
Is
point.
this serious?
Sorry.
Mostly
Thank
young
you, sir.
women, but occasionally we had a man. So I asked him about it, and he said, come on, join us. And I asked Mildred, and luckily she said, okay, because we had driven together, and she had Marty waiting at home. So I was very fortunate that she was game and joined me.
I had a couple of friends. Bill, where are you?
There you go.
Hey! I had a couple of friends. Where am I? Oh, here we are. Who had met their significant others. Ronnie, where are you?
Up there.
How come you guys aren't together?
I gotta sit down.
All right. That was the significant others. Anyhow, they met at ballroom dance classes, as did another friend and his significant other. They encouraged me to give it a try. And there I met Jane. She was very playful in dance class. But it was what she said at the diner after the class that made my heart melt. And that's not all she did. She offered to help me. Marty, I'm much worse than you. Where's Marty? I'm much worse than you at figuring out finances. And so this was a really important thing. She offered to help me figure out the bill for the table. And she's been helping me figure out life's dilemmas ever since.
I was like,
Now, those of you who know my math skills must be laughing to yourself. But I just did discover at the diner that we both had an interest in foreign and independent films. So at that time, I was going weekly with a few friends to see them at Westchester Community College, and I invited Lou to come along. And we arranged for Lou to pick me up at my apartment before going out to dinner with our friends and going to the movies. Well, shortly before he was supposed to pick me up, I get a call, and he's saying, well, I'm really sorry, this might be a bit of a strange request, but I've been working on the boat all day long. It's been listing over to the side. I've been really worried about it. Do you mind if I take a shower at your apartment?
What an excuse. I gotta get that back.
Well, it was a strange request, but I said, sure, no problem. But I was kind of tapping my foot because if you know me well, you know I like to be on time. Got my jeans from my father, and
Got your dress from Bloomingdale's.
So I was more upset about coming late to the dinner than actually having him shower at my place. But we got through the dinner and everything, and during dinner he made some reference to our date, and I said, date? This isn't a date. We're just getting together with some friends of mine. He said, what is it, a training day?
Jane's been trying to train me ever since. Actually, I was quite relieved that the boat survived its ordeal. Tony, remember when it was hard over and the tide, and where are you, Tony? Remember when it was hard over?
Yeah, what was the problem?
Well, we were trying to get the mast in, and there's a rock right under the place where you put the mast in, and the tide went out under it, and the boat went over like this. Well, she was wondering about being late for her dinner date. Anyhow.
Which wasn't a date.
Which wasn't a date. Where am I here? Okay. So I was quite relieved the boat survived its ordeal. But it had to be moved. That's what I told her anyhow. So that it wouldn't be aground again when the tide fell. As they do twice a day. So after the movie, Jane was gullible enough to come back to the boat with me to make sure it was okay. Then at a later dance class, I asked her if she wanted to get shanghaied. She had to look up what Shanghai meant. But she surprised me by saying yes. Emphatically, very emphatically. It's like James Joyce, Ulysses, yes, yes, oh yes, for those of you who know that passage. We went on a weekend cruise to Oyster Bay, and we've been sailing through life together ever since.
Well, we discovered we had a lot of interests in common, but we had different styles. And here's me. This is how I deceive myself. I know I start out here, I know I'm going here, I have a few steps in between, I plan it, I get there. Okay. I may have a few mishaps along the way.
Really?
It's on the wire.
And eventually I get there. No fuss, no bother.
This is how I see Jane. She does get there, but she has single-minded determination from point A. She takes a beady-eyed aim and busts through everything, walls of matzah 1 yard thick, whatever. And she hits the target every time. She's very, very determined. This is how I see Jane's functioning.
And how do you see Lou function?
Yeah, let's see Lou's
Okay,
function.
well,
Now
funny,
that's a dysfunction.
funny that you ask. Okay, well, here's how I
Oh my God! Am I that direct?
see it. He does start out with an idea, but he sort of kind of circumlocutes or whatever, and he does eventually get to be, but it takes him a little while.
You know what I say? To be or not to be? It doesn't matter a rat's rear anyhow. We're very existential. This is how I see my modus operandi. See, I get there, maybe, or maybe not, it doesn't matter. So, anyhow, that's how I operate.
Did you see?
Can you all see? Well, I do that. I did that on purpose, actually.
We'll bring it upstairs.
short way?
so it's better.
That's it. Almost.
Can you almost see it?
Yeah, but it could be worse.
Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, Justine.
Well, so Lou was great during this time. He was a real trooper,
Aw.
trying to discuss the stuff of relationships, but it didn't come easily.
Oh, you can talk.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below.
One night before we went to bed, I was trying to talk to him about, you know, something that had happened that I wanted to discuss, and he said to me, quote, "I don't like to think about it. Thinking is not something you do in a relationship." I think. But later, after thinking about that quote, which I had written down right after he said it,
She writes down everything I
it
ever
was so
say.
amazing. I said I have to write that one down, and I did read it to him occasionally. He revised it, and he said, "When you're in a relationship, you're not in your head, you're in your heart." So here we are today, celebrating each other to celebrating our togetherness.
Aww. And these rings, hold up your ring now.
Oh, you have a ring.
These rings actually commemorate this. And we recently
hand,
exchanged these. And actually the guy's website was
Was down.
pirated or something. What was it?
We'll tell them about
Oh,
that
that's
later.
another story.